Hello, everybody. Welcome to MMC First Time Alive. I'm Rich. I'm part of the Mediterranean Metal Cruise team, and joining me today is Operations Manager Alex.
Hello, everyone. I'm Alex. I'm also part of the Mediterranea Metal Cruise team. After the presentation, we'll begin with the questions we received before the webinar, and then we'll move on to the questions from the chat, basically, from the live audience.
Perfect. Thank you, Alex. So just before we begin, I do need to let everybody know the session is being recorded, and the recording will be shared with everyone who's registered. You don't have to have your cameras on if you don't want to be recorded. They are optional, so you're welcome to keep yours off for now if you want. So this session's about anybody who's really curious about Mediterranean Metal Cruise, whether you've never taken a cruise before or whether you've sailed before and are new to MMC, if you've already booked and are planning your journey, or are still deciding whether the experience is right for you. Today, we aim to explain what MMC is, importantly, what it is not, how the days work, what's included, what you need to plan separately, and how the booking process works. We will use 2026's edition of MMC as the current live example because it's the edition that's currently open, but the main idea applies to MMC in general. Destinations, live metal, community, and a complete holiday built around the journey. So, let's begin. The easiest way to understand MMC is this. It is a metal holiday. Not only concerts at sea. A traditional festival gives you shows. A traditional cruise gives you travel. MMC brings the destinations, the live music, and the metal community together in one journey. It can sound almost too good to be true at first because it combines things that normally live in very separate worlds. The structure itself is simple. A real cruise itinerary, an official MMC program, concerts, activities, and people. People who all come for the same reason. So routes may vary between editions of MMC, but the rhythm remains the same. We depart from Athens, we sail between ports, and we wake up ready to explore a new destination every day. For the current MMC26 example, the route is Athens to Mykonos, to Kusadasi and Patmos, Rhodes, the beautiful Isle of Santorini, and then back to Athens. There are no traditional sea days in this edition. The experience is compact and active, and the destinations are part of the event rather than something separate from it. This slide is basically the MMC rhythm in one look, basically. One day, two different worlds. During the day, the destination is usually your main focus. You as our guests can explore independently, join an optional excursion, or take part in selected MMC activities ashore. Depending on the schedule, there may also be concerts or activities while sailing between ports. The programme is designed to give guests enough time to enjoy the destinations, relax on board, and take part in the MMC experience without unnecessary clashes. As the day moves on and the ship sails towards the next destination, the focus gradually shifts back on board. Dinner, concerts, the black deck, activities, really good fun karaoke, and just generally the social side of what MMC is, and that's all part of the experience. The aim is not to overload you as guests, but to give each day a different kind of layers and allow everyone to enjoy MMC in their own time and in their own way. So you don't need to be an experienced cruiser to come on MMC. Many people interested in MMC have never cruised before, and that is completely normal. You don't need to understand cruise culture, formal dining rules, or how ships work. MMC is designed to feel easy. You're bored, you find your cabin, you follow the program, and you just meet people naturally. The community is a major part of this experience. We welcome solo travellers, couples, friends, international guests, and first timers. You don't have to arrive with a group of people to feel part of it. So the ship is your base. That is what makes the format easy. You unpack once because everybody hates packing and unpacking. I know I do. You sleep in the same cabin and the ship moves whilst you rest. Celestial Discovery has a smaller ship feel compared with the very large resort type ships, so it's easier to navigate and easier to see familiar faces time and time again. There are cabin options for different budgets and comfort levels, as well as restaurants, bars, lounges, and some beautiful open decks. The ship is not only transport, it is part of the MMC atmosphere. So, your base for your 4-night journey. Cabins are much easier to understand if you think of them in 4 main levels: interior cabins, exterior cabins, balcony cabins, and suites. Interior cabins are practical and usually the most economical. Exterior cabins add a little bit of natural light or maybe a sea view. Balcony cabins provide you with that private little bit of outdoor space, and suites, as you'd expect, offer more room and additional comfort. All cabins aboard Celestial Discovery include a private bathroom and a daily cabin service. The best choice for you depends on your budget, how much time you expect to spend in your cabin, and whether a view or a private outdoor space matters to you. One thing we're always asked is what's actually included with Mediterranea Metal Cruise, and this is where we want to be very clear. The MMC package is not only a ticket to the concerts, it includes your cruise accommodation, all your main meals on board, your port charges, your gratuities, the MMC concerts, and the official MMC activities. The current MMC26 package also includes essential Wi-Fi, €115 in drinks and dining credit per person, and an $85 shore excursion discount per person. Benefits can vary between editions, so guests should always check the current booking page. Flights, hotel nights before or after the cruise, transfers, optional excursions, specialty dining, spa treatments, and personal purchases are separate. Knowing this helps you plan the real total cost of the trip. So this slide shows the current fare examples for the active sailing. Prices shown are the lowest available examples in each cabin family and are based on 2 guests sharing unless stated otherwise. Solo pricing can look different because one person using a private cabin is covering the full cabin rather than sharing it with a second guest. Solo travellers may also have the solo traveller match option, which allows you to book one place in a shared cabin. For eligible cabins, the current payment option allows guests to pay $800 per person now, with the remaining balance due by the 2nd of August 2026. Full payment is also available. Availability can change at any point, so always check the current booking page and review the final checkout total, including the separate booking fee, before confirming. So what do you need to do to plan around and outside the cruise so you can join us on this wonderful journey? The good thing is you don't need to organise everything at once, but you do need to understand what is included in the cruise package and what you need to arrange separately. The main items outside the cruise are your flights to Athens, hotel nights before or after the sailing, travel insurance, transfers to and from the port, any optional excursions, personal onboard spending, and any passport or visa requirements that you may have. The simplest approach is to secure the cruise first and then plan the rest step by step. The trip planner and FAQs are designed to make that process easier, particularly for first-time international travellers. Celestial also offers selected post-cruise Athens excursions. These use separate transport arrangements, so guests who book onto one of these excursions should not also book the MMC return shuttle. So coming alone to MMC does not mean experiencing MMC alone. There are two main ways to travel solo. One is to book a private cabin for one person, which costs more because the full cabin has been used by one guest. The other is solo traveller match, where a guest books one individual place in a shared interior or exterior cabin, and MMC assigns the cabin mate later. Each traveller has their own reservation and pays their own fare. Matching preferences are considered where possible, subject to availability. Beyond the cabin, the social side happens naturally through activities, excursions, bars, shows, me singing bad karaoke, and simply seeing the same people around the ship each day. Many solo guests connect quickly because everyone is there for the exact same reason. And just to clarify, with solo traveller match, it will be gender-based. So males will share with males and females will share with females. Just thought about to get that in there. Just so there's no nothing lost in translation. So getting to Athens and getting to MMC is a lot simpler than it looks. For most guests, your journey is simple. You fly into Athens, arriving at least one day early, stay in central Athens overnight, and transfer to the port on embarkation day. We always recommend arriving early because international travel can involve delays or long connections, and spending one night in Athens gives you that little bit of a buffer, and it allows you to begin the trip in a more relaxed and happy manner, and it gives you time to explore a wonderful city as well. Guests can reach the port using the MMC shuttle, a private transfer, or any other form of transportation. The MMC shuttle departs from Syntagma Square in central Athens on the morning of embarkation day. The exact meeting point and departure time are shared with booked guests closer to sailing date. For the scheduled Kusadasi port call, cruise passengers arriving and departing on the ship normally do not need a Turkish visa because tourist visas up to 72 hours are usually okay. So you shouldn't need a separate visa. Passport and entry requirements can still vary though according to nationality and individual circumstances, and guests with an unusual passport, residency, or travel situation should contact the reservations team early so that we can check any requirements for you and make sure there'll be no issues. After the cruise, guests using the MMC return shuttle can choose to either go to Athens Airport or Syntagma Square in Athens as a drop-off point. The airport shuttle normally arrives at Athens Airport around 9 a.m. That's based on our usual schedule, and flights departing from around 12 noon onwards are generally workable, although guests should still allow for some possible traffic, disembarkation delays, and obviously your airport security procedures. Guests who book a Celestial post-cruise Athens excursion should not book the MMC return shuttle as the schedules are not compatible. They will need to arrange their own onward transport to Athens or the airport independently, or book transportation to the excursion if that option is available. I know I was really worried on my first cruise, which was an MMC. It was about how do you get onto the boat? What do you need to do? Well, actually, embarkation is much less complicated than many first-timers, just as myself, imagined. When you arrive at the port, you check over your travel documents and your boarding pass, you receive your onboard card, and then you board the ship. Your boarding pass, including your cabin number, is sent closer to the sailing date, usually within the final 2 weeks before departure. The onboard card works as your room key and is also used to charge purchases to your onboard account. Depending on the ship's current procedures, you may be asked to register a credit card or leave a cash deposit for onboard expenses. Any remaining account balance is settled before disembarkation. Once on board, drop your stuff in your cabin, head to the black deck for the welcome activities, and that's when the Metal family comes together
Yay.
Yes, we like that bit. So when you can finally relax for 5 minutes and just drink that pint of mythos. Um, so what if you've never cruised before? So let me answer the most common first-time questions quite quickly. Do I need formal clothing? No. There's no formal wear required on board. MMC is a relaxed experience, so you can wear and bring whatever you feel comfortable wearing. Are meals included? Is Wi-Fi included? Are excursions compulsory? Well, main meals and essential Wi-Fi are included, while excursions are optional. Guests can join organised excursions, or you're just free to hop off the boat and explore independently. One question we always get asked is, what about seasickness? Well, noticeable ship movement is very unusual on this Aegean route, and if it is felt, it is only very, very slight. Sea conditions obviously can naturally vary, but from our previous MMC sailings, they've all been smooth and comfortable. What I would say is, though, guests, if you are especially sensitive to seasickness, you may still wish to bring your usual remedy or medication just for a bit of peace of mind. Do I need to speak Greek? Well, MMC is an international community. We have guests travelling from many different countries all over the world. English is the main shared language on board and is also widely spoken at the airport, in hotels, and throughout most tourist areas. Are credit cards accepted? Yeah, major credit cards are widely accepted in Athens and most tourist areas. It's always good, though, to carry some euros. Small purchases on some of the smaller islands might not always be, appropriate or accepted to use cards. So it's always good to have a couple of notes in your back pocket. How do I get to the port? Well, again, for port transfer, guests can use the MMC shuttle, or you can book your own private transfer. As I said before, the exact meeting point and times will be shared close to sailing. Can I relax between activities? Well, relaxation is already part of the MMC experience. Imagine spending a day exploring Santorini, watching the sun set down over the Aegean, returning on board for dinner, concert, heavy metal bar piano in the lounge, and if you're brave enough, you can come and join me and Alex on karaoke. The experience naturally moves between destinations, music, social moments, and time to unwind.
Sorry, sorry. One thing I just noticed from that slide, what is missing is the weather.
Ah,
So this maybe you can explain better than anyone, right? So,
well, as somebody who lives in the United Kingdom, I'm used to rain and rain. But we've been baking in a heat wave for the last couple of months. So weather, October, November time, in the Mediterranean on the Aegean Sea, it's pleasant. It's not cold. It's pleasant. It's happily warm. The daytimes are warm. It can get breezy when you're out on the open water, and it's worth bringing a light jacket, especially for the evenings. But expect, and you can't quote me on this. It's not like this is getting recorded, but expect sunshine, blue skies, and good times.
that's right.
It's always lovely in Greece. That's what I'll say. It's beautiful. I'm still warm enough for a British person. Far too warm, in fact. So when we come to booking, secure your cabin and plan the rest. The booking process is designed to be straightforward. Begin on the pricing and availability page. Choose the cabin category and the occupancy that match your party. On the secure booking platform, select the available cabin and any optional add-ons. Then enter the required details for all travellers. Before paying, review the full reservation total, including the separate booking fee. You can then choose the current deposit option or payment in full. Once payment's complete, you'll receive a confirmation email with your booking code, payment summary, and the links needed to manage any remaining balance. During the booking process, use the platform's own back and continue buttons rather than using your browser's back button, as the browser controls no, I'm not going to say may interrupt. It will interrupt your reservation. Always use the booking platform's forward and back buttons. MMC access and benefits are available only through an official MMC booking or an authorized MMC partner. Standard cruise booking made elsewhere is not a valid MMC booking. And if you are unsure, always contact the reservations team for clarification. This is why we say secure your cabin, then plan the rest. Cabin categories can fill up or move to even being on a wait list, while flights, hotels, and the rest of your journey can be arranged step by step at your leisure once your place is confirmed. So that brings us to the end of the overview. If you're still deciding, the next step is simple. Check the current pricing and cabin availability, explore the trip planner and the FAQs, contact the reservation team if you need any further clarification. If you've already booked, then well done, great. Look forward to meeting you in November. You can use the trip planner, the FAQs and reservations contact if you need to ask any questions about your journey and any further planning. If you're watching the recording or a shorter clip later on, always refer to the Mediterranea Metal Cruise website for the latest prices, availability, payment options and booking conditions, as these may change. We will now begin with the questions submitted in advance, followed by questions from our lovely live audience. Please continue to send your questions through the chat. For live questions, we may repeat the question aloud before answering so that everybody can follow on and that the recording makes sense for people listening later on for first-time guests.
So we received several very good questions in advance. So we'll begin with those before moving to questions from the live audience, as Rich already said. So the first one was kind of not like a question, but it's also worth like making a mention to it. This will be my 40th music-themed cruise. I know what to expect.
Well, you will recognize the cruise side immediately, but MMC may still surprise you. MMC offers a more intimate and complete holiday experience rather than your typical floating festival. So the destinations, community, and the atmosphere that we make together play a much bigger part of the journey.
I think it's very hard to explain basically in words. Anyways.
Yeah.
All right, next one. Is there an upper age limit?
No, we don't have any upper age limit. We've had guests of all different ages, young and old. All ages are welcome. Everyone can enjoy the experiences at their own pace.
Right, even kids, I mean, parents with their kids and families and so on. So there's no really limitation on that. Next one was, what's the solo traveler match?
So, solo traveler match. It's a shared cabin option for solo travelers. You book an individual place in a shared interior or exterior cabin. You pay your own fare, and using magic algorithms, MMC assigns the cabin mate later on. There are matching preferences, and they will be considered where possible, subject to availability. And as I said earlier, they are same-sex cabins. There'll be no mixed-sex cabins on the solo traveler match.
Right. What accessibility options are available?
So guests with any mobility, accessibility, or medical support requirements should contact the MMC reservations team before making their booking. Accessible cabins are limited, and not every part of the ship, every port, every tender operation or excursion may be fully accessible. So for specific requirements, they need to be checked in advance with the cruise line. What I would say is, as somebody who has some difficulties walking myself, I found MMC to be very accessible, and due to the pace you can take it of your own, I had plenty of time to recover when I overdid it in Kusadasi. But yeah, absolutely. Always contact the reservations team first and go through your requirements.
Right. So next one, when and where does the shuttle leave?
Okay, so on departure day, the embarkation shuttle leaves from St. Agnes Square in Athens. And yeah, the time will be communicated closer to sailing day. It's a case of we just need to work out the last few things and last bit of logistics, but will be plenty of notice.
Right. What time does the return shuttle reach Athens airport?
Usually around 9 a.m. That's based on our usual schedule. So yeah, it's not a bad journey from the port to the airport. But yeah, book flights after 12 noon.
All right. Then can I be dropped in central Athens after the cruise?
Yeah, if you're on the return shuttle, you can choose to go into Athens. It's back to Syntagma Square where you got on the shuttle rather than going to the airport.
Right. Are there post-cruise Athens excursions?
Yes. Celestial Cruises offer selected post-cruise Athens excursions. Uh, if you book one, you should make sure you do not book onto the MMC return shuttle because the schedules just don't work out. They're not compatible. You may need to arrange your own onward transport independently or book transport through Celestial on the excursion when the option's available.
Just to add here, because excursions are not open yet, if you have booked the return shuttle and then you want to book a Celestial Cruise and Celestial Athens Cruise, then that's fine. The amount of the return shuttle, then it will be just refunded to you. It's not an issue. Just saying. And then do I need to rent a car in Athens?
Usually not, especially for staying in central Athens. Uh, Public transport, taxis, private transfers are normally more practical for a short stay in the city. Um, Many hotels have got like luggage storage facilities as well, so you don't have to worry about pulling your cases around with you if you arrive early or when you're going back on after the cruise. But it's always worth checking with the hotel you booked into to make sure they do have that facility available.
Are the island visits guided or do guests explore independently?
So both options are available. You can book onto unorganized excursion. You can explore independently, or you can join selected Mediterranean Metal Cruise activities ashore when they are included in the program. Exact excursions and shore activity information will be shared close to sailing date.
All right. Are there excursion packages, of course?
Yes, so Celestial Cruises offer optional excursions, subject to availability, of course. Guests can choose the excursions that interest them, or they can still, as I said before, explore destinations independently.
All right. Will there be a pre-party or other official pre-cruise activity?
Um, Nothing confirmed as yet, or nothing announced at this stage. Any official pre-cruise activity will be shared through MMC's official website, email, and social media channels. And just give a shout out to the social media that we've got going on as well. So we're across the socials. Check us out, give us a like and a follow, and share us.
So, how early are lineups announced?
There's no fixed announcement dates with MMC. The first artists to the next edition are usually announced a bit close to the current sailing date or shortly after the cruise. Further lineup announcements are then released gradually throughout the year.
All right. So basically, those were all the questions submitted in advance. Let's now move on to the live ones. Let's see what we have here. Right. Will there be pre-parties? I think
Maybe. We'll
this,
see.
we're looking into this. Let's say it like that. Um, so the question is from Marjorie. Sorry for if I pronounce it bad. Will there be mythos? I can answer that. I think the draft beer on board is mythos,
I can confirm.
right? The ultra pint. There is
Ultra
actually
pint.
1 liter of mythos on board. You can order, and there are other options as well, like Carlsberg or Stella or other international beers. There's also non-alcoholic options and whatnot. So yes, there will be mythos on board. Okay, can you give some examples of the onshore events? That's a good one.
That's a very good question.
Mhm.
So the program for this year is actually still getting put together, and that reminds me actually that me and Alex need to sit down again and have another meeting. But yeah, I mean, if we look at things that we've done in the past, we've had visits to microbreweries, and then I've had a beer drinking competition, or we've done a a guided walk around Mykonos, things like that, where you can just stay together as a group and get to know each other more, enjoy a beer or two, maybe enjoy a bite to eat, explore the islands with like-minded people, and yeah, we've got stuff in the pipeline. We're at a stage where we're 95% there. We need to get some confirmation done, don't we, Alex?
So what else? Sorry, I don't need to answer anything, right? You're
I
just
was just I'm just saying that we are looking at more shore activities. We're 95% there. We just got a little bit more planning and finalization to do, haven't we?
yeah, that's one. Yeah, I don't need to answer anything. That's absolutely true. So basically, we're, let's say, communicating everything closer to the sailing date, because this is actually the time where we actually plan everything, mostly in detail. So you will be basically receiving, if you've booked, you will be receiving the detailed schedule closer to the sailing date with actually all the activities listed on and offshore. And the performance slots and also the port times and whatnot. But I know you're excited. We are also excited. We can't wait for November to actually come. But yeah, we're sharing this info closer to the same day so that we actually make sure also that mostly on excursions availability, for example, and yeah, things like that. So yeah, what else? Can you explain what does mystery cabin mean? I can explain that if you
Please
want.
do.
So basically, the mystery cabin is a random interior selection cabin. If you've booked a mystery, then that means that you will be either allocated in an IA category, IB, or IC, one of the three. That's a random, again, allocation. So you will be receiving your cabin category and number basically when we share the boarding passes. That would be maybe, yeah, up to 2 weeks before sailing. Okay, so I've seen that and I've seen another one, so I think we can combine these two. What's the percentage metalheads and normies, and are there many children? So there are no many children. And about percentage, I don't think it's even noticeable, basically, but you can also answer, Rich.
Yeah. So about metalheads slash normies. Uh, our focus at MMC isn't about numbers or creating the biggest floating festival in the world. We focus on personal. We focus on carefully curating something that's a metal holiday that metalheads will enjoy. It's built around you, the guests, with our own program, activities, and international community on board Celestial Discovery.
That's very well said. Um, okay, I can answer that one. So we only have an email confirmation. What paperwork do we need, should expect, and when we will receive it? Thanks. So basically, there's nothing else to do on your side, except of course for paying your installments. If you have done it already, then there's nothing else to do on your side. You will just receive your boarding pass again up to 2 weeks prior to sailing, and then you will just have to go to the port, show your passports and the boarding pass, and then you will receive your boarding card, and then you will just be able to board the ship, and that's it. There's actually no paperwork or nothing else required on your side, unless if you have any special request or disability or something, then yeah, please contact our reservation team. But if not, then all good. Are there meet and greets, signings with the bands? The bands are just there.
Yes,
Yes.
there's nothing officially set up. However, from past events. You will find all your bands and artists that you want to see and meet and pester will
Or
be sitting.
singing in the
Or, yeah,
karaoke
or they'll be
together.
singing with you on karaoke, or they'll be sitting around the pool on the black deck drinking beers with you anyway. So if you know, all the bands we book for MMC are very approachable, very friendly bands, and I'm sure none of them have any problems whatsoever with having a chat about why you love them or signing something for you.
Yeah, maybe the problem would be like who orders the next beer, I would say, rather than if I can talk to that guy or I can take a
It's
picture, you
your
know.
it's your round, isn't it, Alex?
Yeah. Um, is there MMC and band merch available on this ship? Um, I can
Go on, you
take it.
take it. You take it.
MMC merch, yes, will be available soon. I think it opens more or less the same time as the excursions. So you can actually pre-order it online and then you can pick it up while on board. Band merch, there's not on the ship. So I don't know if that will be handled as well as, pre-order it and actually collect it on board, but I'm not sure about that. But in any case, we will communicate everything in advance. Um, yeah, and I think that's it. Any other questions? Anything to add?
Yes, Laura. What's your question?
Oh yeah, we too. Yeah, Laura, what's your question? Maybe I'm not sure if it's worthy adding. Ah, okay. Uh, are the bands usually separate in their cabins, or will guests have their chance to meet and spend time with them on board and during stops like Mykonos or Santorini?
Yeah, the bands will like to get out and explore the islands as well, as well as having a little bit of downtime after their sets or before their sets or during their sets. You know, it's up to them, whatever they want. But yeah, I mean they're there, and as I said, they are a friendly bunch. The people we book, they are approachable, and I'm sure none of them have got any issues whatsoever with fans of what they do, spending time with them in a very nice, intimate setting. That's one of the big selling points of MMC is you get this access to these bands where you're usually locked away behind a barrier or behind a door or behind a gate, and that just isn't what we do at MMC.
So not to mention that Bullet was actually participating in the beer contest last year and also in the gyro eating contest. So you can
Okay.
actually get to compete with the band members as well. And Dream Evil was also participating in the air guitar contest, right? So definitely, yeah, the bands are more than accessible. It's actually everyone is a guest, right? So it's really amazing. Like when we are there, it's
They,
I
they,
don't
they use
know.
it, they use it as their downtime as well, and they're having a good time as well. And they do use it as a small holiday for them in the middle of sometimes people are touring schedules or whatever. So yeah, they want to enjoy. They want to throw down and drink ultra pints and
And
eat
enjoy
gyros and
the piano lounge. That's also something they.
yeah.
Okay. What about the group pic with the famous floating dresses in Santorini? Of course, you can do that if you want.
The men too.
Um, so we will have a full day in Santorini this year, meaning that we will be arriving there, I think at around 8 a.m. or something, and we will be leaving at 6 a.m. or so. I'm not entirely sure if it's 6 or 8 a.m. So that means you can enjoy a full day on the island, and of course you can do the floating dress as well if you want, and whatever else. What numbers of MMC participants do you usually have? I guess that depends on every year is different, right?
It doesn't matter how many or how few or whatever because our goal is to provide an experience, a holiday, as well as a floating festival, as well as getting to see some beautiful, beautiful sights on the Greek islands. Doing it all together with like-minded people, and that, bringing that metal family closer together, and creating a larger MMC community, which, as I said, continues to grow.
Yeah,
Sorry.
you can ask. And I mean, I guess it makes sense that you ask, because if you've never been there, it's like, yeah, what am I going to face? I mean, how is it going to be? Am I going to be feeling uncomfortable and whatnot? The answer is no. So, um, I don't know. Again, not sure. I don't find the words to express like the feeling when we are on board and everything starts happening, and then we're arriving at Mykonos, and then we go all together to this walking experience, and we go see the windmills, and then we have a beer on the little Venice, like with metalheads. This is like it's like it doesn't exist elsewhere. It's like yeah.
Oh, no, yeah. I mean, as long as I'm in the be around, it's all right. It's fine.
I think yeah, it's there's no competence there. I mean, everybody's just, drink and drink. It's like how how was
I, th-
that?
I think the way I'll explain it is you kind of see it coming in, pardon the nautical pun, but it comes in waves. I mean, in the morning when people are just waking up, and you've got people who are off out exploring. You've got people who are just sitting chilling in the pool or the jacuzzi, having a beer. You've got people who are asleep because they didn't get to bed until 7 a.m. in the morning because they were partying all night.
Oh
Um,
yeah, I know. I know
and
this. Yes.
so, but then once your day ends, that's when you want to avoid buying around when the first band are about to start playing that day, because that's when you're going to have a million friends who all want a beer. But no, it doesn't feel overly kind of. I'm somebody who suffers badly with social anxiety, and I hate being around people. Um, so for me, it was I could cope, and there were times when we were out and about, and yeah, I feel it, but it was. And it's cliche, but it's that friendly, family, welcoming feeling that kind of makes it feel different. Um, but yeah, mine's an ultra pike. Thank you, Elaine.
Next question. I imagine MMC feels much cozier than other cruises, right?
We are looking at the experience and the actual holiday in full, rather than just a festival on a boat.
Exactly. So actually nothing to do with other floating festivals where you get on board just to see bands. That's not our case. We're more focusing on the guest experience rather than the festival experience. Because you have festivals everywhere nowadays. It's so easy to get to one and see like 100 or 200 bands and whatnot.
But what we do is very different.
We focus more on actually having a metal holiday, on exploring places with metalheads, which is something we all want, right? I mean, we all go on vacation, and when we do, we always search for this rock bar. I mean, whether we are in Prague or we are in Philippines or whatever, we will always look for that rock bar. And if there's none, then we just end up in an ordinary bar and then just have a beer and then go home or at the hotel, sorry.
And you know what? There's no better sight, right, than getting off in Mykonos and going out for our walking experience of the island, and before our beer in Little Venice, and seeing 50 metalheads all dressed in black walking through the whitewashed
Oh
streets
yeah.
of Mykonos, and it's just such a contrast, and it's brilliant, and it's just that it's those little moments that just make me think that this is it. This is it. Well, thank you all very much for joining. If there's no further questions, we'll start to wrap that up. It's been a pleasure talking to you all, answering your questions. Thank you all. We can't wait to see all of you lot as well. And I look forward to drinking many beers or wines or cocktails with you all. Um, November can't come quick enough. I'm
Oh,
really excited about it. And obviously, Alex is my best mate now. I think I talk to Alex more than I speak to my missus. So let's just yeah, November, it's coming and it's going to be awesome. Any other questions? Info at mediterraneanmetalcruise.com, or reservations at mediterraneanmetalcruise.com for anything booking related, and
Or anything at all. Yeah.
or anything at all. And it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot from my side as well. Thanks for your time and for joining, and can't wait to see you in November. You will have the best time of your lives, really. We do. So
We love
you
it.
do as well. Many hearts.
We can do
So,
that. Yeah.
all right, guys. Have a good night and see you soon.
See you in November.
Bye.